Hello everyone and welcome to 到最 Salon, Flow Tao Salon. Today we're diving into a huge shift happening in China's pet industry. After years of just explosive growth, the market is really at a turning point. The rules of the game are changing, the money is flowing in totally new directions, and a whole new era is starting. We're going to show you exactly what's behind this massive transformation.
So all the info we're digging into today comes from this really comprehensive report. It's the 2025 China Pet Industry Technology, Innovation, and Investment and Financing Report. It was just put out in March 2026, and it gives us this incredible window into the latest trends. Okay, let's get right into it.
This one sentence really just nails the whole story. It perfectly captures everything the report found. After this period of, almost frantic expansion, the industry is settling into a new, much more mature phase. So think of it less like a wild gold rush and more like a calculated game of chess, one that's way smarter, more focused, and driven by real innovation.
So what does this new chapter actually look like? Well, the report says it's a huge shift away from just throwing money at things to grow and moving towards high-quality, tech-focused development. But that transition has created a really interesting little economic puzzle.
Right? This is the central question. If a market is maturing and investors are getting more cautious, you'd think there'd be fewer deals, wouldn't you? But we're seeing the exact opposite. Investment activity is actually climbing, but the total amount of money being invested has just plummeted. So, what on earth is going on here?
This paradox, this idea of more deals but less money, is really the key to understanding everything that's happening right now. So let's break down these two trends, because when you untangle them, you can see exactly where the smart money is going and why.
And the data tells such a fascinating story. On the one hand, the number of investment deals bounced back to 40 in 2025. That's a pretty healthy sign of activity. But at the exact same time, the total funding just crashed to 900 million RMB, which is a 5-year low. So, more deals, but way, way less money overall.
So the big takeaway here is that the era of these massive, late-stage funding rounds, what the report calls capital carnivals, is officially done. The days of investors just writing these huge checks for big, established companies, hoping for a quick payoff, they're gone. The market has definitely sobered up.
And in its place, we're seeing this major strategic pivot. Capital is now being put to work in smaller, really targeted amounts, and it's aimed right at a company's earliest stages. The new playbook is all about backing fresh ideas, deep technology, and real quality over just scaling up fast. It's about making smarter bets, not just bigger ones.
Okay, so if investors are being smarter and way more selective, where exactly is all this capital flowing? Let's follow the money and see which sectors are really attracting this new wave of investment.
The data couldn't be clearer. Pet medicine is the undisputed leader here with 14 deals in 2025. That's way ahead of pet food and pet services. And this isn't just a random blip. It's a huge signal about what investors value the most right now. So the question is, why medicine?
It's because investors see this as the new frontier. Pet medicine is a sector that's defined by these really high-tech barriers to entry. We're talking biotech, innovative drugs, advanced diagnostics. These are areas with strong intellectual property, things you can really defend long-term, which is exactly what cautious capital is looking for. This is where that whole tech-driven theme really comes to life.
And check this out. This focus on deep tech is happening at the very, very beginning. In the pet medicine sector, a full half of all deals were angel investments. You add in the seed and pre-A rounds, and you see that the overwhelming majority of the money is going to companies that are just starting out. It's all about fueling that R&D from the ground up.
So when we say tech-driven, we're really not just talking about another e-commerce app or something. We're talking about deep technology. Capital is backing companies that are developing totally new classes of drugs, creating AI systems to help vets find illnesses earlier, and building this whole ecosystem of smart devices that can monitor a pet's health in real time.
But this whole shift towards technology isn't just happening in a vacuum. Nope. It's actually being guided and stabilized by some really powerful forces behind the scenes, as government policy is actively building a new foundation for this more mature phase of growth.
This support basically comes in 3 layers. So nationally, pet consumption is now a strategic priority. Locally, governments are encouraging innovation by creating specialized industrial parks, and then, and this is so important, a new wave of regulation is professionalizing the whole industry. For example, they're enforcing much stricter standards on pet food, which just raises the bar for everyone.
And the signal this sends to the market is crystal clear.
The government is creating an environment that discourages just short-term speculation and instead rewards real, sustainable innovation. It's a very deliberate move away from an unregulated, Wild West kind of market to a structured one where quality and safety are everything.
Okay, so after digging through all this data, what are the most important things for you to remember? Let's boil it all down to 3 key findings.
First, the market has absolutely matured. The gold rush is over, and it's been replaced by careful, strategic, early-stage bets on the future. Second, technology is the new engine of growth. The most valuable companies moving forward are going to be the ones with deep, defensible tech. And third, policy is creating a stable, predictable environment that supports high-quality, long-term growth and weeds out the weaker players.
So all of this really leads to one final big question. The industry is no longer in a frantic sprint. It's settling in for a long-distance marathon. And in this new race, which is powered by technology rather than just cash, the real question is, which of these early-stage innovations will be the ones to break through and completely redefine how we care for our pets?
陶醉沙龙马年兴隆。